all of us either downsized or uninvited guests to our Thanksgiving dinner. And I told you last Sunday that Helena and I were going to have a little chicken. Because this is the first time we just don't have anybody coming. And we don't want to force anybody, twist anybody's arms to come and be with us and eat, even though I'm a good cook. Of course, we were not being rude to our family or to our friends. But because we believe safety comes first, right? Love your neighbor means to be safe. Wear the mask and keep the distance. Yeah? Do no harm. But this morning I want to take you to a Pleasantville. Pleasant. Right? Us here, Pleasantville. Okay. Okay. Playing on words here. Are you with me on? Pleasantville. Where people have pleasant faces even under their mask. Ooh. Yeah. Let me invite you to tap into your memory files prior to this horrific pandemic. Remember, do you remember? Holiday gathering discussion with your family and friends and agreed and fixed a day when everyone can gather. Huh? You remember that? Mm-hmm. Whether you had a phone conferencing or went out for lunch and had a little ad hoc meeting, and then you have a date. You have firmed a date where your family and friends are coming to your house. Remember that? Yeah. Coming to your house to celebrate great Thanksgiving or even Christmas. You are now so happy in planning a serious menu. You have even scheduled a house cleaner to come to your house and clear up your mess because you don't know what to do or where to start. Right? Mm-hmm. If my house is like your house, then it is a mess because that requires some thorough cleaning from top to bottom. Now, your house is tastefully decorated. Mm-hmm. Your dining sets are properly on the table. You just can't wait to share what you have prepared. In fact, the day of the party, you're a little antsy, double-checking things. You whisper to yourself, Yes, rain, snow, or sunshine, they must be here because you worked so hard. As people arrive at your door, you are ready at the door. In fact, even before the doorbell rings, you are ready to open the door and greet everyone with big smiles and great hugs and kisses. You are so ready to remind them how much you love them and care about them in the way you have gone extra miles to prepare a beautiful dinner. Your kind hospitality is saying to each one of them, I am so proud or so darn proud of each of you. And you are saying to yourself, God is good. Am I so crazy how I knew these? Because we are all guilty of trying to give a very best memorable experience every single holiday gatherings, right? We will go out of our way to welcome everyone to our table and celebrate. Maybe I am overstretching. Maybe you don't do those things. But you know what? Mark's gospel is telling us to prepare. Chapter 13 is overwhelming if you took time to read. It says, take heed that no one deceives you. And then, when you hear wars and rumors of wars, do not be troubled, for such things must happen. For nations will rise against nation. There will be earthquakes. It will be the beginning of sorrows. But watch out for yourself. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child, and children will rise against parents. You know, these are all the warnings that the gospel writer were presenting to look out. You know, Apostle Paul also took that further into explaining more stuff. Mark is saying, life-transforming party does not happen in vacuum. It requires tremendous efforts and requires commitment to keep it up. Mark is saying, day of his coming must not be taken lightly, because his coming is imminent. Remember a couple Sundays ago I preached about thief in the night? Thief will not warn you, tell you, text you, or email you saying that I'm coming to your house. They come when you are less expected. In the world right now, crazy things are happening. People don't care. People are just rudderless. Respect for humanity has gone by the wayside. There are economic calamities, not just here, but everywhere. Think about those tiny islands, little countries. Their GDP is just a drop in the bucket. And they are struggling. Homelessness and chaos are compounding. Yesterday, day before, LA Times talks about a lot of people are going to lose their homes, right? Because they've got no money to pay the mortgages. These are not normal. It should not be normal. But it's happening. Coming of Christ don't have to be a dramatic entry into the world. It should not convulse the world. But I guess sometime something drastic need to happen for complacent people to stop and wonder about life. Otherwise, we move on as if nothing is happening and that we are not responsible for whatever is happening. You know, if it is not affecting you directly, sometimes we just let it over, gloss over. But I think we all are responsible for this mess. How do we, as people of God, help clean up? Are we part and parcel of the problem? Or is there a way for each of us to become healer of the land? You know. I know people are not into guessing games. They tell us, we tell one another, are you in or are you not? But Mark is saying, none of us really know. That just makes it even harder. If you don't know, then why worry? Right? And Mark is saying, I don't know. Even these angels, armies of God don't even know. But my Father. That's it. And it is hard for us to exist, coexist in that middle part. Right? We want to know. And so, Mark is saying to all of us, look out. Watch out. Be alert. Since I'm an army brat, there are sentries guarding the posts. You better not go to sleep, right? If the commander, corporal comes around to check, and if this person is sleeping, wake up. Guard your posts. Mark is saying, don't take these things lightly. Season of Advent is basically a season in our liturgical calendar to prepare. Yeah. Sweeping under the table and vacuuming under the couch and clearing the cobwebs by the commode, things that you have previously noticed but neglected because it didn't matter. Right? But Mark is saying it should matter. Because unkept lives will eventually drag you to disparity and spiritual apathy. Holy days, Holy, holy days will become just another religious celebration to get over with. If, faith don't matter. Of course, Mark is saying we should do some personal introspection. That's a beautiful word. I think English teachers will like it. Introspection. Introspection. It's easier to fix broken things at home. It is easier to fix broken pipes. But it is harder to clean the mess within. Does it make sense? Yeah. Spiritually speaking, we have all allowed grass to grow under our feet. And Mark is saying it's time to turn that around. It is time to check those nooks and crannies in our lives where things piles up. We need to clear those. Order your personal life. Yeah. If we don't, or if we are not concerned about our spirituality, that will have negative effects on so many things in our lives. Yeah. And so for me, the season of Advent is not just beautiful things, not just wonderful things that will happen, but also clearing, purging some things within, making things right with God and right with one another. And I think this is even more truer than before. Imagine how political wranglings has polarized our country. I've read news about children not wanting to go home and have a political discussion around the table, and therefore choosing not to go. You know. And there are Christians on both sides. But it seems like their political allegiance seems stronger and deeper than their own allegiance to God. Does it make sense? It's crazy. Instead, in my opinion, we have manifested distorted view about our faith rather than allowing political system to take its course. A process of democracy that this country have enjoyed for hundreds of years. Pastor Adam Hamilton wrote a book on incarnation, and I'm going to quote a little bit from the first chapter. Advent beckons all who consider themselves as Christians, regardless of whether they are Republicans, Democrats, Libertarians, or Independents, to come to the stable and there fall on our knees as the shepherds surely did, yielding our allegiance, our hearts, our will to the newborn King. End of quote. Or else, how are we as Christians speak hope for the world, or hope in the world? There was another paragraph that I want to read from Pastor Adams. He says, today nearly a third of the world population claims Jesus as their king. End of quote. Then I would ask, how comes our world is in such a mess if majority of us are Christian in the world? Can we do better? If the answer is yes, then it has to start here, right? It has to start here. It has to start here before we can go out and speak about hope in the world. That Jesus is coming, bringing hope for the broken world. Each of us need to first realize Christ's hope. And I pray that today will be the beginning for all of us to make things right. Start cleaning our own messes so that the world will be a little better tomorrow and the after tomorrow and next year. Does it make sense? Can you go with that? Can you ponder on that a little bit? No. May God bless us through His Word.